All right, this is a first play review of UE5, and
My desert laces.
yeah, with
Name
desert
drop
laces
yourself,
for the
boy.
desert, yeah, for the desert rats. Yeah, so basically, as it, we're gonna put this on the same play field as its genre of game because obviously there's games out there that are just visually absolutely way beyond what Squad will ever be, but that's because they're usually single player games or small
Like
multiplayer games.
arcadey, more
Well,
arcadey.
no, not arcadey, just like they're more linear. The games are more linear, whereas this is a massive sandbox that you can run around in, right?
Mm, mm,
So
yeah.
and it's based on realism. So I'll put it in the same genre. Other tactical big map games like
Mm,
this. Obviously, Battlefield.
mm,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the rating's more about Squad. uh,
mm,
the graphic visually, the UE5 update made every map feel way bigger than it used to. I don't know why how it did it, but
mm.
just the way the forests and trees and the lighting and everything, it made everything feel larger and more spread out. So the maps I've already played on hundreds of times just felt way
Felt new.
bigger, new and more
Mm,
expansive, and it was hard to even tell where I was anymore. Whereas with the old one, because everything was so cookie cutter, you could tell where you were just by looking around from memory. But now I was
I
getting
even mentioned
lost.
that during the game, actually.
Yeah, I remember.
And yeah, I was trying to like, I know where I should be looking, and I don't recognize this, so that was a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. And like the mist and everything, it makes it harder to see at longer distances and the weather changing and the lighting, and if you're playing against the sun, then obviously you have a lot of glare and everything. So like it just adds another layer of realism, and you can't just look hundreds of meters. Harder, definitely harder to see enemies.
Mm,
They blend in a lot better, which is what their camouflage is always supposed to do. But because everything
mm.
before was a lot flatter when it came to illumination and shadows and everything,
And
you could pick
foliage.
out and foliage. You could pick out people in the woods in the dark running around from hundreds of meters. But now,
Mm,
like I had to pull out my binos on the last map in Al Basra just to see whether because I saw a speck moving
mm.
around and I was like, is that a bush moving or is that a person? So I had to look through my binos, and then it turned out there was actually a Humvee in the bushes with a guy standing next to it. So like
Hmm.
everything blends in a lot better. People in the
I
forest are
think it's
way
only going to
harder to
get
see.
better too as they
Yeah,
make it a little
yeah,
more
with updates
user
and stuff
friendly.
streamlined. Yeah,
Yeah.
because like they came out with that update for the infantry update that came out, right? That changed a lot of stuff. They'll probably do a similar thing for UE5.
Mm,
And but yeah, the lighting and everything, even the textures on the vehicles and everything like that. You know, vehicles look muddy and rusty and worn out and everything. So visually, a lot better. Like I would give it for tactical shooters of the same genre as Squad, like Arma and stuff like that. It's got way better graphics than any of those other games that I've played. When it comes to what else? Well, I guess UE5 only really changed the visuals. The UI changed a little bit, and it's fine. It didn't really affect anything. Um, they changed the audio on the gun sounds, and they sound a lot crisper now. I
yeah, they
noticed.
do sound beefier. Like
Yeah,
they
when I was
sound like there's
shooting an
more to them.
M4 inside a building earlier, I was like, "Oh my god, it feels like I'm shooting an actual M4 inside this building right now." It is loud.
Yeah, and they've added echoes and shit in the buildings.
Yeah.
They've done that. That's nice too.
So that was nice. Um,
It'll be nice to get into vehicles and see how the vehicle, because the
I
vehicle
yeah, I
mechanics were one of
really
the
want to
big
do
things
that.
they wanted to change. Like especially tracked vehicles have apparently
Yeah,
work a lot better than they used to.
that's good. I noticed that the vehicles don't move as fast, which I don't mind because in real life, vehicles like armor and stuff like that do not accelerate fast because they weigh tons. That like a striker weighs 19 tons when it's up armored,
Yeah.
so it does not accelerate fast. It can get up to 70, 80 kilometers an hour down a highway on flat ground, but it does not accelerate fast. They're sluggish, and you can feel it. when you're driving any of the vehicles. I was driving on the road, and it's fine on the road, but then as soon as I went off road, I could feel, even though I'm on a mouse and keyboard, every bump. I could feel like the shake in the screen as the suspension was moving up and down over each of the bumps. And I actually felt like I could hide my vehicle in the woods now because it's so easy to blend your vehicles in with real woods and stuff
Yeah,
on
really,
it
for
now.
sure. There's much more
Because
foliage.
like remember when
That,
like you would park your logi in a copse of trees and like you're like, well, it's as hidden as it can be, and then a
mm,
vehicle comes by, it's gonna see it because it just sees
yeah,
straight lines mixed in with not straight lines and a different color. But now,
mhm.
like when we parked our logi in there to build that hab, the Kaz Helo flew over and didn't see it. Like the mortar pickup truck that hid in the woods in front of us was actually hard to see if it wasn't moving. Like everything was actually hidden, so it's a lot more realistic that way. Um, what else? The suppression is really good. Um, um, like if somebody's shooting at you with a 50 caliber machine gun, obviously you're not just standing there and able to shoot back at him accurately. So yeah, those are all the main big changes. So all around, I give it a big thumbs up. But the only drawback is because it's brand new and they haven't put patches and stuff to help with stuttering and stuff like that. I do notice that it's not smooth and it's not there's a long wait for things. Like when you click on something on the map, sometimes it takes a second for it to register. Same with spawning and stuff like that. And people just kind of like skipping across the road, like disappearing and reappearing. So um, obviously that'll come out in a patch and stuff like that when they like optimize stuff. And it was a lot better on the maps that were already optimized because I think Al Basra was one of the optimized ones, right? Andrew?
It was the only one I thought. I thought it was the only one.
No, I thought Talil was one of the optimized ones. Hello? Where did where did Gaylord go?
Probably offered to give things.
Right when I need him, when I ask a question.
Wait, is he in Discord with us?
He should be.
Let me look.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's still there.
He's still here.
Let's do this.
Okay, well, he disappeared. But anyway, one of them was an
I thought he
optimized map.
said
Al
that.
Basra is one of the optimized maps, and it did run a lot smoother than the other maps we were playing on that weren't optimized. So all they have to do is go through and optimize the maps. I noticed that when we were fighting in a city, because the visuals
I'll
are so
bring
much
back
better
up.
though, because the shadows and the lighting and everything, and the mist effects and the time of day with the sun and everything, because it was more realistic. Not only did it make everything feel bigger, but like when we're fighting in Al Basra, the city, it actually felt like a big city because of how much larger everything looked, like the buildings and everything, and all of the shadows and all that. It actually made you feel like you're in a bigger city than before. Whereas, really, when you're looking at it on a map, it's only like 4 city blocks. So that was really nice to see.
yep, agreed.
Yeah. So all in all, I like it.
Yeah, you've.
I like that it doesn't drain my hardware. I was worried that even though I have a good
I'm.
gaming PC.
I'm slipping out of here. I'm slipping
Oh,
out of
okay.
here right
Bye.
quick. I gotta get ready.
All
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
man. Yeah,
I'll.
GG's. Have a good one.
Yep.
We'll see you on the when you get back from
Yes.
the Big Apple.
When do you get
Yes.
back?
Sunday night.
Sunday.
Sunday
Okay.
night. We land.
All right.
We land at like probably 6 or 7 p.m.
All right.
All right.
All right.
I'll see ya.
Peace.
Yeah.
Hey, peace.
Yeah. So all in all, I'd say that it just makes everything feel larger, more realistic. The sounds are better.
I
Once
feel more
they
immersed.
yeah, way more immersive. That was like kind of that was one of the gripes I had with it was that like it's a great game, but compared to other games I've played, it just isn't as visually immersive. So, like for example, if you played like Battlefield, for example, Battlefield has had really good graphics the last couple games, and even though it's like large maps with lots of players, but this is a tactical one, so there's a lot more like physics involved in everything, and it's a simulator game. So typically they are a lot more cookie cutter and less optimized, but this one's definitely catching up to be I wouldn't say on par graphically as that as like something like Battlefield. Like Battlefield 6 has really good graphics, really good visuals, but all of the maps in Squad are a lot larger than Battlefield maps when you're actually playing on them. They feel a lot larger.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think once they optimize it with some patches, it'll be really good. And it didn't wear down my hardware. That was the one thing I was worried about, because I could play UE4 on max graphics settings. I was worried that when it switched to UE5, I was going to have to turn everything down to potato, and I didn't. I didn't have to change a thing, and it didn't run any worse. I was getting the same frames I was before. So, really good. That I can have better graphics without a draw on my computer. But yeah, I'll post some shorts on my YouTube channel, as well as a montage of some squad gameplay of UE5 for my first kind of look, and then I'll also create a highlight reel for Twitch as well, probably on the weekend, so probably Saturday when I have some time. But
Yeah, I'm gonna hop off of here.
yeah, it's
I gotta get-
my bedtime because I got work tomorrow. So thanks for stopping by, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your squad tonight. And if you ever want to play with us, just shoot a message while we're in there. My in-game name in squad is Renell1994. So if you see me in there in a 7th server, I'm usually in Quicksilver. We usually do reach around stuff, the three of us. So we like to make a small 3-man squad and go around the front line and find the enemy's habs and radios behind their front lines and get rid of them. And set up ambushes and landmines and stuff on their main routes out of their main spawn. So yeah, if you're ever interested in doing any of that, feel free to shoot a message in game or on the stream, and we'll get you in the squad and we'll play. Thanks for the follow, and yeah,